Hi, peeps. Well, I'm back, and today I am going to finally touch upon a hard subject, which is about suicide. So I want to give you a trigger warning that if you feel like I'm going to be talking about suicide and mental health and how your body keeps the score. And so if this is too much for you, just feel free to skip this episode. I just have felt for a long time that I needed to touch upon this subject. And my friend Abby did something on her Instagram, and I just thought this is a good time to do it. We are coming up on, I am 2 weeks away from the second anniversary since my brother took his life. And I know I don't really talk about my brother a lot because it's really painful, just his whole life. And also when he was alive, I was really trying to protect him just from himself and from me. And so I really never I really don't talk about my siblings a lot because one, I feel like their story is their story and I don't really have a right to, to share too much. But also, there's a lot of pain involved in that. And so I really don't want to, open up that can of worms. But my brother has passed, and I think the way he passed from suicide was so shocking to my body that it's taken me this long to really kind of even talk about it. And still, it's super raw. And so I'm going to go slow today because it's really still tender. And I think it's important, but I think it's just I think it'll take years and years and years before, and there will always be parts where there's just going to be a big why in front of it. So I have a friend, Abby Call, Call, Abby, Abby. She is on Instagram. She's a friend of mine that I met through Freedom Movement many years ago. And she's recently has done some posting about her mom's suicide, which was about 5 years ago, I believe, and her Lyme disease journey. Now, this was really interesting to me because she's connecting all the dots of how this disease really was part of just a breakdown of her body, of just this deep grief of her mom's suicide. And it hit me to my core because I was like, I'm going through the same thing with vertigo episodes every November, which is the month my brother and my dad passed December 1st, 10 days later. But it just brought me to a realization of, I mean, I knew it already, but it's just like the more she talked about it, I'm like, man, it really does connect sometimes with diseases and things of like what grief and what depression and how your body breaks down. Your body does keep the score when you go through deep traumatic things. And suicide, let me tell you, is a deep traumatic thing. It's so unexpected. It's like such a shock of so many questions and so many things left unanswered. So your body just takes this hit, and then you just try to like move through that and get through that. But I don't think that, your body fully heals from stuff until you can just slowly work through these things and grieve it deeply. And just, you're constantly trying to get yourself to a place of health and well-being, because it's like it is mental too, aside from physical. My brother struggled his whole life, and he also tormented me through half of it. And he had a lot of mental illness. He was in prison. He's been convicted, and he's still my brother. So you throw all those things together, and it's like, whew, it's a lot for your body and your mind to hold. It was funny. I talked about my vertigo episode that I had a few weeks ago, and I had done a newsletter on it, and so many people reached out with all their cure-alls, and I'm like, yes, I'm doing all those things, and thank you for that. Like, people cared, and I love that. But also, you know, people love to reach out and try to fix you. And I knew that, there are some protocols that I can take that help the vertigo, but there's also some deep issues that I needed my body to rest. It's really a time where my body goes, ooh, it's November. We're taking a break because it's heavy right now. This is a heavy month. It's almost in remembrance of, we're going to make you lay down and just grieve a little bit here, or maybe a lot. And so it's funny when people are like, oh, just do this, this, and this, and you'll be fine. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but also like I was feeling depressed too. And so I think your body regulates all of those things. And a lot of times we'll have these things that happen and we go, gosh, I don't know why I was feeling like this, or why I got sick this way, or why this happened. And if you look at it in a wider scope, you may find that there was some deeper things behind that of why your body was falling apart at that moment. It's like the hard memory of getting that phone call just shook me to my core, and it still haunts me. The complete sadness of never getting my brother to genuinely believe that we wanted him to get better. We wanted him to be happy. His mental health was a mess. He knew all the buzzwords and all the therapy protocols because he'd been through all of them. So this wasn't something where, well, if you just had gotten him help or whatever. He's been through all the 12 steps, all the therapies, all the things. Even in prison, they made him do these deep therapies. He just didn't want it. He didn't believe in it. I just feel like the enemy had a hold of his soul in a way that he mocked us when we tried to help him. He had a smile on his face that just was evil, and broke my heart because I really loved my brother and I wanted to have a relationship with him. So that's something I'll always mourn. And that weighs heavy on the rest of the family too. My sister and I share this grief, but to try to explain it to someone else that hasn't gone through that never knows how to live through that, it's just a whole other thing. People judge. People think that they have answers that you don't. And at the end of it, when someone takes their life, they pity you, but they still don't understand. And it's okay, because I don't either. What I do know is that each time my body falls apart, I now know it's deeply trying to tell me something. I don't ignore it anymore, but it is hard. I grieve hard. I feel hopeless, and I spend hours upon hours asking God why and what's next. And it's a process I hate, but I know in order to keep myself healthy and stable, I have to dig deep. Abby shared her health journey of a much needed diagnosis, then therapies, physical and mental, lots of new protocols to get her body functioning again, and I am in awe of her. She's one of the first few people that I shared about my brother's passing with because I knew she would understand, and she did, and she held my heart well. And I will never forget it. The thing that I cling to is that I don't have to be on anyone else's timeline when my body just falls apart. God knows, and that's okay with me. There are still things that he's showing me, and each time I become a more aware woman. I'm learning how to be in my own body and not bypass pain or uncomfortableness. I am becoming stronger in so many ways. So grief can be your stronghold. It can show you things that you might have ignored before, but only if you're willing to dig deeper and not try to rush through it so fast. I am learning what my body can and can't handle. And it feels good to be able to make those choices that have nothing to do with anyone else's opinions. And people have opinions, let me tell you. It's almost like every time I am trying to be raw and honest, there's always a couple of people who just jump right in there and they shoot me a DM or, a message of some kind or email me and say, well, you just need to do XYZ and then you'll be fine. Or you need more of Jesus and then he will carry you. And I'm like, I'm not leaving Jesus out of the pack. Like Jesus is forefront in all of this. I sit for hours and hours and pray and read scripture and ask God, really hard questions that, of course, I've told you before, God can handle. He can handle all of it. And, some of those have been answered and some of those I'll never know this side of heaven, and that's okay. It doesn't feel great. I don't like it, but it's okay. And so before you get on some kind of a rant of you see something where you're like, oh, I just need to tell this person this, and then, they're going to feel healed. They're going to feel good. I have found that people are so uncomfortable with grief, they don't know what to do with it. And so they are constantly trying to rush through it, cover it up, fill it up, make it holy. Like, let's get to the Holy Land. We don't want to feel this grief. It's horrible. It feels uncomfortable. And sometimes you need to feel uncomfortable and you need to grieve and wail. It even talks about that in the Bible. Men ripped their clothes. They wore sackcloth. They grieved. They wailed. They screamed. They fell to the ground. They didn't eat. That's grieving well. And it's okay to do that. I will probably be doing that forever for the things that I have lost because they'll never come back. And that's sad. But there's always this hope of, can we make this life count? Can we add more things that are glory filled? Yeah, eventually. Don't rush through the grief. Suicide is such a guillotine of just gone. Like there's no warning, there's no nothing. It's different than someone, when my dad died 10 days later, I wasn't shocked because my dad was 98 years old and in a nursing home and had COVID again. And so I knew the chances of him surviving, but he was doing okay until I told him that my brother had passed. And the look on his face was pure heartbreak. So I think my father passed from a broken heart more than just old age, because 10 days later, that's quick. He just gave up. He was like, I don't want to be here without him. He needs me. He knew I didn't need him the way my brother needed him. And I think, he knew I had Mike. He knew I would be okay. He knew I had my kids, my grandkids. My brother was kind of abolished from all family members. And so he was lonely. And so there's this finality, though, with a suicide versus someone is going to die. You know it's coming. You are preparing your heart as best you can. Even when that happens, you're not ready. But you are really not ready when someone takes their life instantaneously. So think about that when somebody does share with you that it is a suicide. It's a completely different kind of death than what we would expect. So just some points to cover. I would say that sometimes your body, mind, and God is trying to get you to see something that you are benignly thinking is just an ache. Listen to it. You might be surprised at why your body is breaking down at this time, and it does it time and time again. So listen to those cues. It's not just a headache. It's not just a body ache. It's not just a flu bug around that time. Maybe the anniversary of the death or, a month later or something like that. It's your body trying to tell you something. Let others listen to your story, but make sure that they can handle what you will say and can be safe and trusted. These will be friends or family that can really listen well and not try to offer up those little sprinklings of like, let me just give you some sprinkling of advice or happiness because I don't know what to say to you and I'm uncomfortable. So let me just like throw in some stuff to make you feel better. Make sure it's someone that can just say, like, I don't even know what to say to you. This is really, really hard, but I'm here. Those are good family or friends that can help you. Don't let the guilt of the what ifs rule your life. My brother ultimately had to love himself enough to never do what he did. And the point is that he didn't love himself enough. And mental illness is so deep and dark that sometimes no matter what kind of love you give them, it's just not enough. Know that when you walk through your physical illnesses or struggles, there will be sunshine on the other side eventually. I refuse to give up and go into a dark place and call that my life. And I see the good out there. Some days I can't quite touch it, but eventually I'm smiling and seeing the full fruit of what I can do and be and trust in the process. Just know that when someone you love ends their life, your life takes on a whole lot of intimate grief. It's different, and that's okay. Take your time. There's still beauty, love, and a way back from it. Be gentle with yourself. We have been through a lot, and I'm in it with you, friend. So take good care. And until next time, I'll see you later, peeps.